This recording is for my grade 10 math students. I'm going to show you how to solve a system of two linear equations by substitution. This question is from homework. There are two equations, line 1, line 2. There are two unknowns, x and y. And the goal is to find them. Sometimes there could be different letters, A, B, M, N, J, K. If you are not comfortable with any other letters, you can use X and Y. But just remember how you organize them. So to solve the system by substitution, we need to make sure that we have one variable expressed in terms of the other variable. In this case, y is expressed in terms of x. Y equals 2x plus 5. I will use this expression in place of y in line 2. So if line 2 looked like x plus y equals 8, now instead of y, I will put 2x plus 5. And now I can solve it because it is now one equation and one unknown. X plus 2x is 3x plus 5 equals 8. From here, I discover that x equals 1. That is not the end because I need to find two unknowns, x and y. And now I recall that in line 1, y was equal to x plus 5. I can now replace x equal 1 right here. Two times 1 plus 5 multiplication is 7. So I discover that y is equal to 7. So my answer is 1, 7, x, y. I can also make sure that that's correct by graphing these two lines. 2x plus 5 and x plus 5 equals 8. And I clearly see that the point of intersection is 1, 7, which confirms my findings. Well, the system is solved. This is a very simple case when y is clearly expressed in terms of x. Let's look at one more case when that is not so obvious. For example, x plus 3y equals 5, or x plus 2y equals 10. Now, none of the variables is expressed in terms of the other, and we have to do something before we can continue. My suggestion is to rewrite line 1 such that x sits by itself and everything else is on the other side of the equal sign. So if I want to leave x alone, then 3y has to go away, meaning to the other side of the equal sign. When that happens, 3y becomes negative, as it was positive here. Now I can do the substitution. And I have to be super careful, because when I put a new expression instead of x, I have to remember that there is a coefficient 4. which is being multiplied. So if I had 4x plus 2y equals 10, as seen in line 1, I apologize, as seen in line 2, and I want to change x for this expression, erase my x, put 5 minus 3y in brackets, and I understand that this is multiplication happening here. So I need to use distributive property. 4 times 5, 20. 4 times 3, 12. 12 is negative, 2 is positive. A lot of good-looking numbers. Y wants to be left alone, so I'm going to carry it over to the right because it's negative. Meanwhile, 10 will arrive to the left. It was positive, so it becomes negative. So looks like it's 1. So again, in this system, there was no explicit and clear and very obvious expression that would say y equals something or x equals something, as we had in previous case. For the reason I had to rewrite the first line such that I have something explicit. X is now expressed in terms of y. X equals 5 minus 3y. And then I can take this expression and use it in line 2. So use this in line 2. 5 multiplied by 5 minus 3y in brackets, plus everything else is unchanged. 2y equals 10. Open the bracket using distributive property. Simplify. Calculate y is equal to 1. That is not the end. We now need to find x. Recalling that x was 5 minus 3y, I can now put 1 instead of y. This is this one. Um, 3 times 1 is 3, so 5 minus 3 is 2. X is equal to. So when I write the answer in the form of x, y, I know I found y first. It doesn't mean that it will be first. X will still be first. 2, 1. And I can confirm my findings by graphing both equations in Desmos. So that's my point of intersection, 2, 1. Exactly as we found it. That is a method to solve system by substitution. One last note, when the case is extremely complicated and there are, like say, difficult coefficients in front, then yes, we will result with some weird numbers. Let's give an example. For example, every unknown has coefficient in front of it. How do you express one from the other? Which equation do you use? The first one, the second one? It almost doesn't matter, although it truly will be a little bit easier because there's a 0 here to use the second one, but the numbers will be uncomfortable. And if we use line 2 to express either x or y, so I'm rewriting it because there's a 0. Hard to say, should I divide by 0.5 and this way I get x equals something, or I express y? Almost doesn't matter. Very inconvenient in any case. Look at this. 3 divided by 0.5. Well, let's get the calculator. Looks like it's -6. And then we will reuse the -6 and put it instead of y over here. Meanwhile, the coefficient of -1.5 will stay. I don't have the space further down, so I'm not solving it. I'll just leave it for you, and then you can check it on Desmos.